Hello and welcome to the C-Suite of the Open video series. My name is Omar Kapagi and joining me today is Doug Ramshaw. He's the president of Minera Alamos, a company listed on the TSX Extension. Thank you for joining me today, Doug.
Yeah, it's nice to be with you, Omar. Thank you.
So, Doug, start us off with telling us about Minera Alamos and telling us what you guys do.
Yeah, Minera Alamos is a gold mine developer focused in Mexico. And we are currently aiming to have our first gold mine up and running in Q1 of 2021. I think personally, we're in an industry that doesn't build enough, and certainly maybe as efficiently as it should. So our operating team excel in building mines, and not just any mines, ones with industry-leading low capital intensity. Right now, we're one of the few gold developers that are going to join the exclusive ranks, I guess, of gold producers. And I think the market and analyst community are recognizing this. It's an exciting time for the company.
So, Doug, when you're talking to investors about the Minera story, what are some of the investment highlights that you like to focus on?
Definitely our management's track record. This is certainly not our first rodeo. The team in Mexico have built 3 mines in the last 12 years. More than that, we want to build something and then continue to build it. We're not building a company here just to sell it to someone after all the hard work that's gone in taking it to this stage. So, obviously we're in a good gold market now, but we want to build a business that can survive in the worst of times and thrive in the best of times. So, and I long hold to the phrase, the best way to play the gold market is to be producing the stuff. So, very excited to enter those ranks of gold producers.
And we're obviously in a gold market that's been seeing an upward trend in price. But when you're thinking of catalysts that tend to have a positive impact on your company, what are some trends or catalysts that you see for Minera Alamos that will help with the future growth?
Yeah, the biggest one, I guess on a more macro scale, is if we think about that classical Lassonde curve where, it has 2 big peaks to it. One is obviously during the exploration, excitement, discovery phase. And then you can languish in kind of this orphaned, you're going through boring permitting news releases and stuff, which are all very critical to the company's development, but don't necessarily catch a lot of people's excitement levels. And then at the far end of that chart, there's the move from developer to producer, and that's the other area where you can crystallize real value. So as we move from developer to producer, we will get that re-rating as a new gold producer. And on top of that, we announced a new acquisition last week. I think that we'd like to at least find one more pipeline asset as we show the future growth beyond our first gold mine. It would be nice to finish the year with kind of the table set with our development pipeline. And finally, we're currently conducting a large, 6,000-7,000 meter drill program, a phase 3 program there for future mine planning at our main Santana operation. And those results should flow through the end of the year and into next. So I think a lot of catalysts.
Great. So a lot of companies had different impacts from COVID-19. Some had positive impacts, some had negative impacts. I'm wondering how Minera Alamos was impacted by COVID-19 and how are you able to adapt to the current environment?
Yeah, Mexico was no stranger to obviously restrictions. For a while there, for a couple of months, everything had to stop on the mining side. It delayed our construction timelines by a few months. Didn't overly cost as much on our budgets. It did cost us a bit of time. So, and then positively, although, I was saying to you before we started the interview, in many ways, gold tends to do well when people are suffering in one way or the other, whether it be geopolitical strife or economic strife. And in that regard, I tend to think of it as almost like arms dealers profiting off war. It's tough, but it's obviously created this amplified gold market. I mean, I would gladly take everything back with where we are in the gold price now and look at where we were heading just in January without COVID, we had a very positive outlook to gold. Now I think it's amplified, and we're seeing that with gold obviously reaching new record highs.
Great. And finally, Doug, what does it mean for your company to be listed on the TSX Venture?
Well, the TSX Venture is really, in Canada, a go-to source of early stage resource companies. And although we're kind of moving out of that in terms of market cap, we're grateful to have the exposure to investors that look to the Venture Exchange as a source of ideas and hopefully present ourselves as one of those companies worthy of consideration amongst the shareholder base that comes to the TSX Venture. We're also ably assisted by the TSX Venture staff. It's a collaboration really when we're building these companies. We need the support and organization of the TSX Venture. So we're delighted with our listing here and everything it brings to the company.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Doug. So thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for your time. It's been great catching up with you.
Thank you, Omar.